Hi there. I want to invite you to a very special moment where I had a sit down with one of my spiritual fathers, mentors, and main influences in my life, Brother David Hogan. And he has spent the last 40 years of his life pouring into the indigenous people groups of Mexico. They have seen phenomenal miracles, signs, and wonders, but not just that, a generational legacy of sons that have raised sons that have raised sons. It's a perfect model and example of a lot of the content that I've written in my Legacy book series and that we're doing with our Legacy Academy. Brother David is a patriarch that has forged the way and created space for sons to grow and flourish and find their purpose in what he has forerun. And so come with me now as we go behind the scenes. I have 10 questions in this series that I really believe you hearing his answers will give you keys to have longevity and success in your personal life and legacy as you grow with Jesus in your calling and destiny. Let's go now. So you've been married 50 years now.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Jinkies.
And it's a beautiful example for our generation to look and see consistency.
Yeah.
And again, longevity. There are so many. When my wife and I, when we moved to California, I was told that the divorce rate was 50% for new marriages. Now, some 10 and a half years later, I found out that it's somewhere between 60 and 70, and the church is mirroring
It is.
that number.
Sad day.
It's tragic.
Yeah.
And so what you're modeling and what you're mirroring is this faithfulness and consistency. And I believe that there's things missing in the building blocks of the church that somehow we're missing this. I know there's so many single people that are looking to get married, and there's married couples right now watching this. Would you be able to speak to them around a couple of keys, maybe one, maybe a couple of keys that have caused your marriage to have success and longevity?
Yeah. When I got married, I was a rebel. I was not a safe voice. I was very angry, very. But what I don't talk about it much because I'm emotional about it. But my Ms. Hogan, she liked me. And she was afraid of me because I was a gang member out there in public out there. But in private, I wasn't threatened. She was not saved. Her family wasn't saved, but she loved me. And so I never had a reason to react to her in a negative way. Okay, now this is going to be annoying, but that woman, because I was in those days, I was young and I was a lunatic, but I didn't, if I told you something, I was going to keep my word. Negative. I mean, I meant it. I was willing to go to jail over stuff because I didn't like then and I don't like now people that lie to me. And when I run into Ms. Hogan, she was just this little doll, you know, thing, and she was pretty to me and all that. And if you want honesty, basically I was chasing tail, you know. And y'all don't like that terminology on your little Christian stuff. But in the worldly sense, that's all I was doing. But that's not what she was doing. She was making a decision of longevity in her life, and I really wasn't doing that. I was still mad and messing around, but she was, and so she came after me to win. And her her gentleness, now you got me emotional. Her gentleness and her meekness, she's not saved. But she, looking at her, the way she approached me, was how I would say probably Jesus is. Because I was not approachable. I was caustic. I was trouble. But she really meant it. And I figured that out. And then one day she says to me, she asked me if I would marry her. And I told her, I blurted it out, absolutely not. But you can marry me. Now see, in the way things run nowadays, that would be frowned upon.
Right.
But I meant it. You got to understand, you need somebody, if there's young people or singles out there that's not young, when you say stuff to people, mean it.
Yeah. Don't
have ulterior motives. Don't have a better plan, using this plan till some other plan comes along. No. This is the better plan.
So good.
And so Ms. Hogan, she just immediately responded, I'll absolutely marry you. And she meant that. I mean, more than I did. We've talked about it, a few times, pretty long about it. And that was the best thing she could have done. And now that the future has been lived and now it's history now, it was the best thing that could have been done for both of us, was her decision. Because the way I was at the moment, I wasn't fragile, but I was decided then as well about a few issues, and they were very negative. And now, but she wasn't offended by it. She loved me. And she knew there was a better person in there. And so that's who she went for. And that's who I showed her. Because here's what happened. She never did lie to me. And that's a good idea to this day, not to lie to me. And boy, I tell her frequently how I admire her for sometimes taking some heat, and because I'm controversial, even old, I'm controversial. And so she just says, I love you, David Hogan. And that's just simple. That's just the blunt of it. And if people can accept that about each other and can really endorse each other's love and hold to that, pretty much anything can come along and it won't tear it apart. But if it's shallow and it's not real, it can probably be defeated. But if like that woman, boy, I'm telling you, she was lively. She was not afraid of me, young or older. And I like that. I like people that's brave like that, because I'm real. I'm not a joke. And but she is too. And it's nice. Yeah. And I would suggest being honest. And you're gonna get people are gonna mess with you when you're honest.
Right.
But that's on them. Because you need to be truthful. Especially if it comes to a partner. And so I can talk to her, and I don't know anybody else that I can talk to like I can talk to her still. And there's some good people around me that I talk over stuff, and we disagree on stuff, and it's a little chafy, and we stay together. But not, it ain't the same as talking to her. And I let her talk to me. and I let her opinion be heard, and I let her ideas be heard, and then I'll make a decision, not for both of us. She like just now, I'm going on a trip right now. Whenever this airs, I don't know, but I'm going on a trip, and she made a couple of decisions that's going to affect a lot of people for quite a long time. And I wasn't available for her to talk to, but she's trustworthy.
Yeah.
And I would have probably done it a few degrees one way or the other, off what she considers sinner. But it's not wrong what she did. But it's a little bit differently than we would have probably done together. But it's okay.
So you're saying you're allowing her to have her own unique person inside the relationship.
Of course.
You're thriving that. She has a voice, and it works together.
It does work together. And very few people notice that, because she allows my dominance to be the thing that's seen in public the most. And so a lot of people look at her as kind of underneath something. It ain't right. She's very much got her own skills.
She does. That's just people's assumption.
Yeah, that's their problem.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's great, Keith. I hope you've enjoyed this moment with Brother David. Check out this series where there's a whole bunch more questions like this, talking with Brother David, one of my spiritual fathers and significant influences, in these really raw and very vulnerable moments where you can glean treasure and keys for your personal life. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can go and check out my Legacy Academy. That's available at andrewbillings.org or commissioninternational.com, or you can click the link below. Equally, check out my series of books, Legacy, and other books, resources that I have at andrewbillings.org. You can go to the book page. It's been great having you join. Look out for more as we roll out more moments like this one. Have a great day.